Shortly after school and during my schooling, I started using materials like adhesive tape and string. I was really interested in the ready-made line, so you were already restricted to a particular kind of line, and it was immediately available in a spool or in a roll. So I started exploring that as a tool, as a medium. And so the drawings are like an extension of the space. The first one I did was an adjustment of a corner space. How can you readdress a corner without and still, how do I say this? A corner is a corner, but in how many ways can it be functioned as a corner? And so I did a Joseph Albers spiral drawing, and his works is square inside a square inside a square. So I just created a rectangular spiral that just filled up the space, filled up the corner, and then segmenting it as a triangular space. And the second time, which is the last time I just made this work, I did a string drawing in a gallery in Vancouver, and it addressed the question of how can you address a space without addressing the walls, and how do you fill a volume without a mass. So I did a drawing that just created a cave inside a space. So it filled the entire space without actually having any mass to it. So that was the purpose of that drawing space. So one of the line works that I always use, the commonality, is always this pink string, or it's actually a construction string that's used for demarcation of space, which really gets into what it is that I do in the space with this drawing material. So the first ones I used was like fluorescent pink, fluorescent yellow, and fluorescent orange, and it was so subtle and minimal that it really without the expectation that it would explode as a vibrant color, it actually muted really well. And in this space, I decided to use really bright pink, but because it was going to be a very subtle construction, that it almost has an invisibility to it, and yet it still is visible.